Hello and welcome to World Tanks with me, Jack the Ripper. And not exactly a special guest, but a guest appearance, I suppose, of the one and only Ben from the Beard Guys, aka Don Tomo, aka the Bearded One. Well, does that make Lamb the Bearded too? I don't know. One of the two Beard Guys. This is a relatively old bit of footage, but it's not that old. Every so often, we go and platoon a bit. We were platooning the other day, but I didn't actually get any good footage from the other day. But yeah, so this is me and Don Tomo, aka Ben, playing the Type 59 medium tank. I think this is probably not too long after the tank came out. And it's some quite nice matchmaking. And as usual, I am playing way too aggressive, but in a way that usually ends up working out quite well. There's the consistency of which I play with. People kind of overestimate how I play on this game, because I'm very inconsistent. I tend to either have one of two things happen. It goes really well, or it goes really badly. And this is one of those times where it goes rather well. I really should have waited rather than blind shotting. But you can do that. What you see I was trying to do? I was trying to roughly trace the speed at which the guy was moving. And if you can match it at first, then you can keep matching it after he disappears. But it doesn't always work out because of the fact that the gun in this game automatically adjusts aiming distance, for drop and all that. And so it automatically shoots where the tank is distance-wise. It's why when a tank disappears and you aim, and suddenly if you've got quite a low-velocity shell, suddenly your shot flies way over the top of where he was a second ago, and you're like, wait, what? Where did that go? That's why that happens, if anyone didn't know. It's because it automatically adjusts. So that says 384 meters. So my shot is automatically kind of aimed to a drop for where 384 meters would hit. Unlike games like War Thunder, where you have to do it yourself. So yeah, that's how that works. Now, a lot of people don't really use this position as much as or as well as they should. You tend to get a lot of people here, but they don't usually use it as well as they should. Now here we're in a very delicate position because we could quite easily lose because we've not really had anyone go to the hill. And I'm probably risking quite a lot here. Oh, by the way, people didn't know, things like the Freedom and the Super Pershing just aim for their side. It's a bit like the T-28 and the 28 prototype, or more the 28 prototype than the T-28, but they've got really quite weak sides. And here we go, once accuracy for you. But we have a brave light tank who rushes in. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to focus down the people who I know I can kill, and people who are likely to disappear. I didn't have any shots on that T-71 at first. I think it was a T-70, yeah. And so I wasn't really able to shoot him. Now, one of the things you'll notice, I wait until the detected symbol often until I actually react. If someone's aiming at me, you don't need to move straight away. And that guy hit me on the move, which is quite impressive. Now you'll see Ben's gone up to the top and he is able to hold it down up there, so I'm not too worried about there. And I think basically any time I do look up, it's because he said, "Can you shoot said person?" And I don't know that really happens very much. But yeah, that you'll see there, that guy disappeared, and so where the dip was aiming now was further ahead of him. That was just a bad shot. And I also just bounced a shot off the side of my turret, which is kind of lucky. And I realistically should have been paying a lot more attention to that, but oh well. And see, there you go, that's where I was tracing the speed he was moving. And that allowed me to shoot where he was going to be, rather than where he is. We're really racking up the damage here, and this game is really rather short, so quite rare, I suppose, for the more recent videos I've done. You are actually going to get 2 games. Only one of them is filled with beardy goodness, though. Though I have a beard, so I'm not really sure it doesn't count. With additional beardy goodness, then let's word it like that. So, yeah. So, taking advantage of this hill can really dominate the entire game. And that is essentially what we've managed to do here. We've managed to really hem them in. That was quite a lucky shot. And by doing so, they've not been able to... Like, a lot of their team spread out quite well. Our team didn't spread out as well, and yet we still managed to win, because from this position you can hold a lot of the team quite well. That shot was unlucky. There's RNG balancing itself out. Now, I know I'm not too likely to pen the front of this tank. I take the shot anyway. What I should have been doing was shooting at this guy. And you'll see Ben's just gone up real close. as I said before, those can be penned straight through the side, and then I think Ben just rammed him, to be honest. But efficient, and it got him killed. I'm not 100% sure, because I couldn't see from there. It could just be that he got penned, because that 107 that KV3 gets will do that amount of damage. Did he get a 107? No, I'm thinking of the T150. I suppose it probably does get the 107, but either way, it could have been a pen. But yeah, you'll see 4,500 damage done, 1,000 assisted, and 1,100 blocks. Ben got 900. I think he did get a bit of spotting damage as well. I think it was, if I scroll down, yeah, there you go. So he got 1,300 assisted. So this is probably not the best game of his. Probably should have looked at that before I put this up. Sorry, Ben, if you are watching this. Didn't mean to make you look bad. At least I complimented your beard a lot. So, you know, I'm sure that makes up for it. But yeah, so I'm moving on to the next one in a second. But as you can see, this tank is really a very good tank. And I don't ever think I've done a video on this tank. I may have done. I honestly can't remember. I'd bet, I'll be honest, my ammo loadout has probably changed since then, because I think I was pushing for 3 marks and I was at like 88, 89%. And you need quite a lot to keep pushing the 3 marks. So I think I have now got like a 25-15 or something ratio opposed to 30-10. But beyond that, I've never really changed this, because this does have quite a decent amount of pen. I mean, it's tier 8, it's got pref, it's got a great turret. Aim time's not that great, view range is not that special, but once you start building up the perks, and I built up my Chinese crew with this tank. I actually had a crew with no 6th sense in my first few games in this tank. But now I'm 100 and something games in. I've got 5,000 and something odd W&8 in this tank. No, I think it's just under 5,000, sorry, because I had a bad few games and I actually dropped it under. And I've managed to build up a crew with it, so I've not even got an amazing crew, and yet the tank still consistently performs well. And here you'll see I'm going to a spot which I do enjoy going to, and it's one of the reasons why I said a number of times I can't wait for the new Sand River. From playing PC, because this is a spot I learned to go on PC, and it's very nice of these two to just give me their side. And in really good hold down tanks, you can just absolutely slaughter people from here. Now, I end up getting quite a decent amount of assisted here, and I probably would have hoped for more, but obviously you require people to come with you. And again, the same thing about the whole super pershing of just penetrating through the side like nobody's business. And I'm going for the guy who's giving me the easiest shot here. As I imagine, like I don't think I need to explain that. I don't know where that shot went. But yeah, generally, you know, you want to focus down the weak link, or do damage where you can do damage. And here you'll see I'm starting to get spotting assists start racking up more and more as these guys started to push forward. They went into the range of everyone else. Artillery coming in, the shots coming in long. And you see the hold down position here works really well. If they're getting a bit lower or a bit more to the right, I've just started pointing at the screen again. I can't believe I'm still doing this. What I'm doing now, where you use the left hand side ramp, you can actually tilt your tank a bit, and it allows you to get a bit better position. Now it does overexpose the top of your turret, and so things like your 140s and this as well, where they've got quite a weak turret roof, you will start to get penned. Now that is a risk, and it can work, but you aren't exposing too much, and so if you're quick or if you're not spotted, it can work out really well. And now here I take a calculated risk. I know I can kill that guy, I know I'm going to get spotted, but it's a tank out of the game, and that is what I'm more interested in right there. Now you see, I've been here for quite a while, and I've been very lucky. Even when I haven't been being shot at by artillery, but I still try and keep moving just in case. There's a couple of times where I've probably lulled a little bit too much, but you know, I've been lucky that it hasn't gone wrong. But you'll see, this is what I say about the pen. I'm shooting at not the best angle, but and track shot. Do recommend going for track shots. I was shooting at that Tiger 2, and yes, if I had a higher pen gun, I probably would have penned through the drive wheel, but I'm still penning through, you know, the sides and things relatively easily, and that is something that not all guns can say. On PC, all the Russians and all the basically tier 8 mediums all had a pen buff, and that was, I think, in part due to tanks like this, where they brought out premium tanks that have that higher level of pen. And this is one of them. And so they sort of had to counter that and start bringing them up. And I don't think we've had it to the full extent on Xbox. I know we've had a couple, But I don't think we've had anywhere near the same sort of extent, because I know things like the Freedom and the Super Pershing and the T95E2, all their pens go up to being like 190 odd something opposed to what they are now, which is obviously very nice. And we haven't had things like the 46 pattern Korea, which is basically a 46 pattern with the 90mm. So this tank kind of has come in at a real nice point here on Xbox, and we get to enjoy it while it is. People say it's overpowered, but those hatches and the roof of the turret can be penned. People just have to know to aim for it. We see here there's an IS-3 who's holding an E-75 back rather well, but now there's another IS-3 coming, and so this guy is now matched 2v1, but I'm going there as quick as possible. Now, I knew these two were up here, I've been watching the map, I've known where their team are, and this E-75 should have pushed harder. He really should have just rushed down and started piling fire in on the other IS-3. But he's sitting back. He's not doing very much. There's another guy starting to arrive. And we're starting to just do enough damage that this is actually going to come out quite in our favour. None of us are going to die. I get a very lucky clutch shot here because it tracks him. And then artillery finishes him off. But you can see there's two very similar playstyles, and also maybe two spots that you've learned, I don't know. But two very similar playstyles I've shown in this, and that's basically the only real way to play this tank. Look at that money that I made. I'll see if there's any ops coming up, but that's a lot of silver made. Nope, no ops, so that is just money-making potential from this tank. Wow. Yeah, this tank really does have that nice hull-down ability, and you have to play it aggressively. Like, you really have to play it aggressively. You can sit back, and it doesn't really have the accuracy to chai snipe. It doesn't have the view range to really be a 400-meter spotter. You know, things like your Action X, your Pattern, and most of the tier 10 mediums now, they're 400-meter base view range mixed with coated, and other stuff means you can spot real nicely at range. This doesn't have it as much. This is much more reliant on getting real up close and personal and just using that bouncy turret front, using the good gun depression for a Chinese tank, good gun, and just really getting in there and trying to bully other tanks, whether heavy, medium, lights, tank destroyers, whatever. You just got to get in, you've got to bully them, you've got to make the most of what that tank gives you. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, I hope you found it useful, and I'll see you on the battlefield.